To talk about this further, we're going to bring in certified natural medicine doctor and New York Times best-selling author, Dr. Josh Axe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, first, I want our viewers to hear from Kellogg, because we've got a statement from them. But Trump is nominating RFK Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services, and one of RFK's goals is to remove these artificial food dyes, like from cereals, like Kellogg's Fruit Loops, for example. So we did reach out to them for a statement. So here it is. They said that, quote, our products and the ingredients we use to make them comply with all applicable relevant laws and regulations in the U.S. and Canada. The colors we use in our cereals have been deemed safe by scientific bodies around the world looking at the totality of research. Still, why do other countries have these more natural ingredients? What's the deal?
Well, it has to do with the way that we have our standards. You know, when you look at, and by the way, I want to say, I mean, when they say internationally, it's completely false. I mean, you've got all of Europe, so all of Europe that has banned these food dyes and BHT. You have Israel, you have Australia, you have many, many countries from around the world. Japan is another one that have banned these food dyes and substances. And so, I think that the way that the FDA is run currently today and what is banned and what's not banned is a lot of these other countries say, listen, if it puts our kids at risk, we are going to outlaw these. Whereas the U.S. says, well, we need to wait until there's absolute, without a shadow of a doubt, evidence that there is, and then we will ban it. But the reality is, like even the state of California recently and for schools banned these substances. So there's even researchers and governing bodies within the United States that has banned these food dyes. And I want to point out there's a lot of food dyes in these foods. When you look at the current research, 10 milligrams is what we're seeing is the dosage that can cause ADHD or increase ADHD symptoms, cause allergies, increase your risk of gut and GI problems. And when you look at something like Kellogg's Fruit Loops, there are 33 milligrams, so over triple the dose that they're seeing in the scientific literature of what can cause ADHD and issues within children in Fruit Loops alone. And other cereals are a problem too. I mean, Trix is very high, Captain Crunch berries. I mean, anything you see brightly colored M&Ms, Skittles. Right. But there's definitely plenty of medical evidence.
There are a whole host of things. It's not just our breakfast cereals, but they're just taking the heat right now. This is where food activists are, putting their firepower. I got to ask you, we don't have much time left, but why is it that we're still marketing these sugary breakfast cereals? I mean, they're basically cookies, but why are we still marketing these to our kids? This has been linked to obesity, and these big food companies have been under fire for so long. Why hasn't there been change earlier?
I mean, the reality is there are so many ties into the governing bodies and food companies and pharmaceutical companies. And that's the reason why is that has to do with money. I mean, there's a lot of money being made off of kids, manipulating kids and taking advantage of these bright colors that some of these artificial food dyes bring. And so that's the actual reality is if you follow the money trail, that's where you'll end up. And there's a lot of lobbying money that goes into these companies because they're making hundreds of billions of dollars off our kids.
Okay, well, that's where we're going to have to leave it. I hope we come up with a solution of some sort. And look, even if you get rid of the dyes, it's still not a health food. Let's just push more fruits and vegetables. That would be better. All right, we got to go. New York Times bestselling author and clinical nutritionist, Dr. Josh Axe. Have a great day.